Is your car cranking over and over but refusing to start? Or perhaps it starts but runs incredibly rough, misfiring and shaking while you sit at a red light? If your check engine light is on and your scanner reads P0340, you are dealing with a camshaft position sensor circuit malfunction. This is a very common generic code for vehicles from 1996 and newer, affecting everything from a Nissan Altima to a Ford F-150. To understand why this is happening, you have to understand what this sensor does. As your engine runs, the camshaft controls the opening and closing of your intake and exhaust valves. The sensor tracks exactly where the camshaft is in its rotation and sends that data to the power control module. The computer uses this information to time the fuel injectors and spark plugs with pinpoint precision. When that signal is lost or scrambled, the computer is essentially guessing when to fire the spark plugs, which causes the hard starting, stalling, and loss of power you are experiencing. The most critical word in the code description is circuit. It does not say sensor malfunction, it says circuit malfunction. This is where many people waste money. They rush to the auto parts store, buy a cheap aftermarket sensor, install it, and the light stays on. The problem could be anywhere in the electrical loop. You need to pop the hood and inspect the wiring harness leading to the sensor. In many engines, this sensor is located right on the cylinder head, an area that gets extremely hot. Over time, the heat cycles can make the plastic wire insulation brittle, causing it to crack and short out, or oil from a leaking valve cover gasket can soak the connector and ruin the contact. If the wiring looks solid, you need to use a multimeter to check for voltage and ground at the connector to ensure the computer is actually trying to talk to the sensor. Another possibility to consider is the crankshaft position sensor. In some systems, if the crank sensor fails or its signal does not sync up with the cam sensor, the computer defaults to throwing a P0340 code because the correlation is broken. In rare cases, the engine control module itself could be faulty, but that is much less likely. If you have verified the wiring is good, the connector is clean, and the voltage is correct, then, and only then, should you replace the sensor itself. Use a high-quality OEM part if possible, as these sensors are very sensitive. If you are not comfortable working with a multimeter or tracing electrical diagrams, this is the time to visit a professional mechanic, because diagnosing circuit issues requires patience and the right tools. Do not ignore this code, as driving with a timing issue can eventually lead to catalytic converter damage or getting stranded on the side of the road.